2 dumbbells. Posture. Actually, I'm going to start with 1 dumbbell. You can start with 1 dumbbell. We're going to do the RDLs. Remember the RDLs, the Romanian Deadlifts? Start with 1 dumbbell behind your glutes. Now, it's been a while since we've done these, but we have to go through the basics, the mechanics, and our posture. We can go to a 2nd dumbbell later if we so choose, but first, shoulders back, expand and lift the chest as you bring your shoulder blades together, holding onto the dumbbell behind you, and it's against your glutes, against your bum. Now from here, try to lift up the toes a little bit, get light in your feet, and shift the weight onto your heels. Keep your shoulders back. Now brace your core, activate your abs, suck in the stomach. Now from here, we're bowing from the waist, pushing out your hips. They're going into your hands, into the dumbbell. All right, do not bend your knees as you come down. Just a slight bend in the knees as you come down, and then come out of that, pushing through the heels. So always check your posture at the top. Engage your core. Feel the weight on the heels. Bend forward from the waist. A slight bend in your knees as you come down. Make sure you're really forcing all the weight onto your heels and keeping your posture as you come down. Push into the heels again as you start to come up and get nice and tall. All right, get real tall. Come out of it. All right, and then check your posture. Shoulders back. Flex your stomach. Little bend in the knees. Bend forward from the waist. Keep the weight on the heels. Suck in the stomach. Push through the heels. Come back. So that is option 1. Option 2 is with 2 dumbbells. The key is trying to keep your shoulders back as you do this. This is hard to do. Now, one way to get that to happen is to keep your hands close to your legs on the way down. So I'll give you a little bit of an angled view. Shoulders back. Get your fingers touching the thighs, right? And your fingers are going to slide down the legs. So it's almost the same thing. The only difference is where the weight is. Now it's a little bit in front of you. It's going to pull you a little bit more, so you still have to remember your mechanics. Shoulders back. Push out your hips. Those hands slide down the leg. Force the weight onto your heels. Keep a good posture and come out of it. It's pretty tricky, but the key is always the posture at the top. Keep your shoulder blades pinched together. Now you're going to lose that a little bit as you come down. It's natural, right? The weight, the movement, the mechanics of your body as you come down, you're going to lose that shoulder engagement a little bit. You just don't want to let it go completely through the shoulders, right? You still want to maintain that good posture and strong core. And continue to move at your own pace. Whether you're using 2 dumbbells or 1, doesn't matter. But you should remember the mechanics, the basics, right? Shoulders back, core nice and tight. Push out the hips. Get a good stretch in the hamstrings at the bottom. Load the heels as you start to come up. So remember, checklist. It's a big checklist. Let's do 2 more. Shoulders back, core engaged, weight on the heels, a little bend in the knees, bend forward from the waist. Keep your hands close to the legs if you're using 2 dumbbells. Right? And if the weight's behind you, your hips are pushing into the dumbbell or your hands. And no matter what, dig those heels into the floor and come up. And always think about your abs. Recheck your posture. Last one, bend forward from the waist. Hands in close, tight tummy. Load the heels. Just a slight bend in the knees. Push through the heels to get all the way up and tall. Put one weight down. Have a seat in your chair. Working on the hamstrings for that one. Back of the legs. Hold on to your dumbbell vertically. I have my palms on the inside of that dumbbell. Right? Wrapped around the top. Fingers are right at the top touching, hold it in close to your chest. You can also hold the dumbbell horizontally if you want. I'm just going to hold it vertically. From here, we're squatting. Stand all the way up, come all the way down. Come all the way up, load the heels, sit all the way down. Now, if it's too much with the weight, put the weight down, just maybe interlace your hands, pretend like you're holding on to something, and sit all the way down and up, and just keep the movement going. And if you really want a challenge, you double up, and you do 2 dumbbells, 1 in each hand, right on top of the shoulders, push through the heels, stand all the way up, come all the way down. Again, you're doing with what's comfortable for you. All right, if you don't want to use 2 weights, you don't have to. Whatever works for your body. But you have to challenge yourself, right? If it's really easy, challenge your body a little bit. Add a little more weight. You can also change the location of the weight. If you want to really come down and keep it lower to your body or lower to the center of your gravity, totally up to you. Right? You have options. Whatever works. Sometimes this is a little easier for people in their shoulders, but it's a little more challenging to your posture. So you really have to think about those shoulders being back. Kind of like what we did on the last exercise. Shoulders back, core engaged. Sit all the way down. Stand all the way up. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And come all the way down. And let's get ready for some core exercises. Start to lean back. Okay, from right here, legs are extended or bent. Totally up to you. Tight, tight tummy. Hold on to the dumbbell. Hold it here. Don't move. Not the upper body. Keep the upper body still. Try to lean back far enough where you feel core engagement. You should feel that it's working, right? And if you're feeling that, but you're experiencing a little bit of back pain, sit a little taller or go lighter with the weight. Figure it out. See where you're at. You can always bend the legs if you need to. Straighten them out, a little more challenging. Hold it here. Bring one leg up. Now keep it up. Don't move. Hold it up there. Lean back if you can, but don't let your back touch the chair. Switch legs. Hold. Flex the stomach. Pull in your belly button. Tighten it up. Lock it in. Switch legs. One leg is down, other leg is up. Now my leg is about parallel with the floor. It really, if it's off the ground, you're doing something. Switch legs. Right? The challenge is getting to parallel with the floor on one leg. But if you're a little below it, that's fine. Don't judge yourself. Switch. As long as you're trying. That's all that matters. As long as you're trying. And then from there you modify. Switch legs. Right? So you keep trying, keep working through it, and then you just try to figure out a modification that's best for your body. And so now we're just going to get into it. Switching legs. Moving at a little bit of a quicker pace, but still challenging that core and leaning back, tightening up the stomach, keeping the weight close to your chest. You're probably going to start to feel this in your hips, the front end of your pelvis, the hip flexors, maybe the thighs. That's okay. Those muscles help us when we walk. So we want those muscles to be strong too, but they shouldn't be dominating. All right, you should feel your core. All right, and come down. Bring the legs down, let them relax. Bend the legs a little, but keep your feet flat. We're going to take a little pressure off those hips a little. Okay, come up nice and tall. Press, come down, lean back. Light touch on the chair. Come up nice and tall. Press, come back down, lean back. Light touch on the chair. Nice and tall. Tighten up the stomach, press. If it's too much on the pressing, then don't do the pressing. You can always put the weight down and reach without any weight, and then you bring your hands together as you lean back, reach up, and come back down. That's also an option. If you can't quite go straight overhead, maybe you're going up and forward, right, at an angle. Whatever works. Make it happen for your body. You can do it. And let's keep moving. Every time you press overhead or you try to attempt to lift your arms, you're tall. Good posture. Strong. Easy. Easy on the way back. Flex the stomach. Press. Light touch. Flex the stomach. Press. Let's do 2 more. Nice and easy. 1 more. Tight core press. Put the weight down and stand up. Get behind your chair. We're not going to use any weight for this one. We're going to work on our calves though. Alright, this muscle right back here behind the shin. Just doing some good old-fashioned calf raises. Now you have options. If you want to get fancy and work on your balance, you can not touch anything, or you can have one hand down on the chair, or maybe the wall, or the ledge, whatever you have nearby. Do what works, but if you're noticing that when you're trying to come up and you're working without any support in the hands or arm, and if you're losing your balance a lot, it might be a little too challenging. Because I don't want you to continue to lose balance. I want you to develop some strength and stability. And you're not really getting that good engagement if you're always losing your balance forward. Every rep, you're just not getting the full range of motion consistently throughout the up and down movement. So, if that's happening, grab onto something and work just by raising the heels and forgetting about challenging your balance. And so you're just trying to raise those heels as high up as you can. Try to feel the weight go inward towards the big toe, the balls of your feet, right? Go in. Try not to let your feet shift outwards and the ankles kind of roll out. You want to prevent that from happening. And that's where you're going to start to build that ankle stability. Because if you don't have the ankle stability, it's going to move horizontally back and forth. It's an issue. And so we're trying to create stability in the ankle, developing some strength in the calf. Back of your lower leg should be on fire. Keep it going. Let's keep working at it. 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving on. One arm dumbbell. We're in a row. Grab one dumbbell. I'm going to start with my right hand. So that means my right leg is back. Left leg is forward. I have a pretty good bend in my front leg. Some flexion there in that front knee. Back leg, fairly straight. Back foot is kind of angled to the side, so I feel pretty stable. Make sure you have some width to your stance. Right? Meaning your stance isn't narrow. So that would also mean that your front foot isn't in direct alignment with your back foot. Right? Have some width to the stance. Hold on to the chair with your left hand. Stay strong and supported through the left leg. That right arm is just perpendicular, dangling straight down below the right shoulder. From here, we're going to row and pull right into the hip. Right? Tighten up the core. Flex your stomach. Try to keep a neutral spine. Right? Straight back. And pull your hand to the hip pocket Try to exhale as you pull. Right? Breathe out. Pull the weight up. Right? So we always want to exhale on the exertion. Let's do 5 more. 5. Tight core. Pull in that stomach. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Other side. Same thing. Right leg forward, right hand on the chair, left leg back. Have some good length, some good width to your stance. Front leg is pretty bent and strong and supportive. Back leg straight, back foot is a little out to the side. So you should really feel strong. 3 points of contact, really, your hand, front foot, back foot. Tighten up the stomach now, bring it all together. And we're rowing. Pulling in to that hip pocket. Let's go for it. Try to keep that back flat. That core engaged. And just keep going. Keep pulling that weight to the hip pocket. Trying not to move the torso as you pull in. Right? You're just keeping your spine fairly neutral and straight. Fixed in space. Only thing that should be moving is that arm and weight coming up and down. Almost there. 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good job. Perfect. We're going to work on some balance next. Now this is going to be tough. Have a chair close by. I'm going to start with my right leg forward, so I would recommend the chair is going to be on your left. So your left hand is on the chair, right leg to the front, left leg to the back. Again, some width and some length to your stance. Very similar to what we just were, the leg position that we were just in. The only difference is the back foot is up. The heel. That is the one difference from the last stance. The back foot position is different. Heel is up, toes are pointing straight down to the floor. The rest is the same. That leg, strong and supported. And now you're going to attempt to just hold it. No movement. I want you to focus on your posture. Bend that front leg, right? Feel some weight into that heel. Feel some weight into the back foot, the ball of the foot. The toes are digging in. The back knee is bent a little, right? So a little bend in that back knee. Right? Digging those toes in, digging the heel in, keeping the posture tall, keeping the core engaged. Hold. Now if you need your chair, you grab your chair. But you want to try to kind of stay a little low. Right? You're not straight. We're down. Right? But we're not all the way down. Kind of in the middle. If that's too much on the knee, back off a little bit. Get a little taller. Right? Bring the foot in. The back foot as well. Get a little taller. That's how you modify. Let's switch legs. So if you're feeling a little pressure in the knee, start small and then test. Back up the foot. Okay, that feels okay. Back up the foot a little more. All right, that's good. I'm about halfway down. I'm not all the way down. I'm not all the way up. But the knee feels fine. That's how you gauge it. All right, if it's problematic, you just get a little taller and you just hold the stance this way. So there's not as much flexion in the knee. So we're down. We're holding. If you need the chair, you hold on to the chair. It can be on your side. It can be in front of you. The challenge is staying down, staying low, working on your balance. It's tough. You should feel that quad, the front leg right here, the thigh. You should feel it working. If it starts to get too much with tension or the lactic acid is burning and it's kind of becoming overwhelming, come out of it, take a little break, come right back down. All right? It's tough, but you're tough. Come out of it, let's switch legs. We're going to do those one more time. Other side. So hopefully now you know where you're at and what you can and cannot do. Right? You either have a small stance medium stance, or you're taking a pretty big stance and you're getting a little low, about halfway down. If you really want to challenge, you get the thigh parallel to the floor. But that's pretty tough. We're just trying to get started here, build a foundation. And so I would recommend halfway is good. You should already feel it. That thigh is working. Posture's tall, core is engaged. 5 more seconds. And from right here, nice and easy, let's switch. Other leg forward, other leg back. Set up your width, set up your length. Posture's tall, core is engaged. Come down as far as you feel comfortable. And hold it. Stay strong through your core. Remember to load the heel on the front foot. Hold it there. Stay there for about another 5 seconds. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Come out of it. Shake out those legs. Moving on. We're going to get athletic. Very athletic. Burpees. You are going to learn how to do a burpee. You're going to have so many different options. So many different modifications that you can do, and I am going to guide you through it one move at a time. We're going to start basic. We'll get a little challenging later if you want to, but I'll guide you through it, okay? So, option 1 and option 2. Hands are either on the arm bars if you have them. If you don't have them, hands are on the seat of the chair. Okay, so hopefully you're not on wheels. If you're on wheels, I don't recommend it. You make sure you have 4 legs on that chair. Okay? Come down, whether you're below or up top. Come down, we kick out one leg. Kick out the other leg. Right back in, we stand up. Right? So there's a little plank in there, there's a little core action, leg action, shoulders, a little bit of the chest, arms, when we put our hands down. So it's a full body move. Come down, one leg out, other leg out, one leg in, other leg in. You can pick the pattern. Totally up to you, okay? Come down. Now when you come down, I didn't say this, the chest should be over the seat of the chair. You should not feel like you're reaching out and the chair is way ahead of you. You should feel like you're on top of the chair. Okay, so make sure you have a good position with the upper body. That's important because this will cause pain in your shoulders. Don't do it. Pay attention to the body, okay? Your positioning. Come down, out, in, stand up. Okay, and let's continue to work this. Find a pattern that works for you. Out, in, stand up. If you can't quite go out as far, shorten it up. Totally fine. Or maybe you can't come out at all, or barely a little. Then just come up. You can just touch and come up. You can just touch, push your hips back and come up. So many options here. Okay, we're going to pick it up a little bit. So, from here, after we come in, raise the arms up. Kick out. Come in, raise the arms up. Come down, kick out, come in, raise. Remember your positioning. Chest over the seat of the chair. Kick out one leg at a time. Find a pattern that works for you. Raise the arms up when you're nice and tall at the top. Now, if you need a little extra cushion for your hands, put a pillow down, a blanket, a towel. Give yourself a little extra cushion, okay? I like to wrap my hands around the edge of the seat, the outside edge of the seat. It actually helps me straighten out my wrist a little so that I have more pressure on the heels of my palm and not the fingers, right? Because the fingers will force that wrist into that 90-degree angle and it puts a lot of unnecessary pressure in the wrist, and we don't want that. Right? So again, playing with the body mechanics. So here's how we're going to get a little bit more intense now. After the reach, we come down. 2 feet out, 2 feet in. Come up. If you want to modify, you can go out with 2 feet, in with one, in with the other one. There's the option there. Right? Or you can even go the reverse or the opposite of that, where you can go out with both, then in with both. Again, options. So out, in is option 1. Don't forget to reach up. You can go out, in one at a time, option 2. Don't forget to reach up. Go out one at a time and then in with both, option 3. Make it work. Perhaps you're doing all of that and you're not even reaching up because you have shoulder issues. Totally fine too, right? You have so many different things that you can mix and match, which is why this move is so effective. You can probably tell it's getting your heart rate up. And I'm surprised you're letting me continue to do this and just talk and talk and you're following along. It's pretty awesome. If you're still moving, you are really challenging that core, those legs, those shoulders, the aerobic capacity, right? It's impressive. Keep it going. I bet you didn't even know. We've been doing this for about 2 minutes, maybe a little longer. I bet you didn't even realize you can do it for this long, right? With whatever modification it is, it doesn't matter. Burpee's a burpee, right? Doesn't matter. If you're moving, you're doing something. Let's do one more. Last one. And we are all done. Bravo. Great job.